for the Shop Report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. Pelicans GM Dave Griffin. We all know, of course, who was once with the Cavaliers. During their championship run, has some interesting comments to say or put forth out here in the media. I'm sure we've all heard them by now, as well as former Cavs Richard Jefferson. And, of course, in our continuing coverage of the upcoming 2019 NFL season, we will preview the NFC East. But up first, Major League Baseball. Who is Nathan Peterson? Joining me on the program today to discuss this and these topics, I should say, is none other than my cap from the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park, Brother Rich. Brother Rich, what's the deal, man?
My brother, my friend, our audience, Double J, it's always a pleasure and an honor to be on this wonderful platform.
And, of course, speaking of my man Double J, the guy over to the other side over here, to my right or to my left, depending on which side of the screen you're not looking at, the guy from up north, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J. Tell them folks out there what you say.
Likewise, honored to be on the show and to get somewhere you've never been. You must be willing to do something you've never done.
Okay, so you Microsoft repeating, Jeff Bezos repeating. Is that what you're doing here now? Is that what we're doing? You have to wait till they become a sponsor, man. But I feel you. I appreciate you. And, you know, right quick before we get to diving into who's this Nathan Peterson, Brother Rich, you would know this, of course. No offense to you or nothing, Double J. But guess who did a feature on the Browns at the barbershop today?
Chris Broussard?
No, not him. I don't think they'll let him back in no more. I'm not sure since he joins Fox Sports. No, Frank Wiley from WEWS Channel 5. Yeah, Twin cuts his hair or whatnot. You know, and he always comes up there, brings the cameras and stuff. You know, he did that piece on the Kyrie Irving thing and whatnot. But, he called me, man, and you know me, working the graveyard shift, I was, of course, asleep. And he left me a message and was like, we going up to the shop today, man. You know, with the season about to start, you know, we doing a Browns feature, man. You got to be there. And I was like, wow. So I called him back. He was like, man, by the time I got back to him, they were already done. I was like, wow. He said, but you know, I just told him, you know, of course, in the future, man, just, kind of give me a heads up, you know, like a couple days beforehand so I can kind of be looking out for something like that. You know what I mean? And he said that he would. But I hate that I missed it because they went hard from my understanding. But I'll keep you filled. And I'll, of course, share the links with, you know, our listeners and you and Double J, of course. But this should be interesting because the last piece was on the whole Kyrie Irving when he wanted to leave or get out of here thing. All right. Double J, are you familiar with Nathan Peterson?
Of course, at this point, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are. What about you, Brother Rich? You heard anything about this Nathan Peterson?
I am. I absolutely
Yeah. Well, I'm seeing how we all familiar here. Just let me get right into it then. This Nathan Peterson guy, right? Kid who throws, him and his brother go to a speed pitch challenge. I guess the A's were playing the Rockies. I'm not sure who. It was at Coors Field is, of course, the home of the Colorado Rockies. But they were at the speed at a Rockies game, and they decided to do the speed pitch challenge thing. So, of course, his brother Christian Peterson is filming it. Dude hit 96 miles an hour on the speed pitch challenge. 96. Of course, his brother Christian puts it on the internet, seen more than 500 times. Retweeted more than 500 times, and seen by over 200,000. 200,000. And not even what amounted to 10 minutes later, dude signed a major league deal with the Oakland A's. Now, how cool is that, Double J?
Of course, it's very cool, but something I want to point out is the young man actually was a former baseball player, so it was not a rookie of the year concept where he was a little league guy and then twisted his arm and now he could throw fast. However, to his credit, he had even stated that he surprised himself because he had such a long gap, being over a year since he had really trained. So, that is like, in any profession or sport, if you and I get off the couch and go try to make 50 free throws, if we did make all 50, we'd probably feel the same way.
If I don't know, speak for yourself, buddy. I'm knocking 50 down, baby. You don't lose the. Hey, they don't call me Barbershop J for nothing, man. I don't cut hair. I cut the bottom of the nets, baby. Anyway, what were we gonna say?
Oh boy. Yeah. Well,
laying it on kind of thick, huh?
We'll check you out in NBA Jam, but nevertheless.
Oh wow, really? Shots fired! Shots fired!
Athletics had already been in contact with him prior to. Now, prior to the video, and this is why I will never doubt the power of social media. That is what rekindled that fire, because the conversation, to my knowledge, had stalled between Oakland and this young man. And once that video came out, I think it put a little fire under Oakland to say, well, let's get this guy back under contract before he's on everybody else's radar.
Yeah, I just see it as that's a good come up, man. I don't care who you are, what your story is, because I was going to mention that as well, that he did have some baseball in his background, but, after so long, or a long layoff or a long wait or whatever, it's like you're starting from Little League all over again. You know what I mean? So to go in there and hit 96 on that thing, man, that was a big deal. And I'll mention something else, too, after we let Brother Richard weigh in on this right quick, about once upon a time what you used to be able to do or what the NBA used to allow, so to speak. But go ahead, Brother Richard, have your say on this.
Well, I think it's a wonderful viral story. So many times recently, people go viral for the silliest, most idiotic human behavior. So this is it's a good spin on that. That the young man who now Double J is giving us a little more detail of the kind of history he's had as an athlete, that he has been doing this in his youth, and he just goes out and does it one day, and it happens for him, and he gets a shot where he's been working on the shot, but because he went viral in this circumstance, then the Oakland A's are incentivized to give him another shot or give him that shot that he's looking for. So you hope that in this circumstance it works out for him and he makes it all the way up to the ladder and makes it to the big leagues, if you will. But it's just a circumstance of a situation where it's good to hear something or someone going viral for something good.
I agree, man. I'm glad for the dude, man, because that's the ultimate come up. And what makes it the ultimate come up, something you just kind of alluded to, Brother Rich, it's substantive. Folks is going viral for stupid stuff, the choke out challenge and all that old dumb stuff. You know what I mean? Stuff that could cause harm or degradation or, that's bass backwards. So it's good. I'm with you to finally see something that you be like, man, you know what I'm saying? That's good. That's a good story, man. If you got any type of humanity in you or whatnot. And what I was going to mention, once upon a time, sort of something similar to NBA used to do something kind of, along those same lines, in that if you were like a former college player who'd kind of, life happened and you had to get a job for a couple years, but you still were young enough and, kind of kept yourself in shape enough or whatever the case may be, or a high schooler, maybe was out of high school a couple years and working at the local grocery store, but you still thought you had a shot. You could go try out for your local NBA squad. And if you did decent enough, you could get a 10-day contract. Imagine that. Can you see me now, Double J, shooting them free throws on a 10-day contract? Oh, yeah, and I'll be on NBA Jam. Holla. Yeah, and speaking of basketball, we now turn our attention to, of course, former Cavs GM, current Pelicans GM, David Griffin, and some of his comments. And I will read his comments. Quote, and of course, again, this is during the Cavs' 2016 championship run. Now, we've already been discussing this ad nauseum to a certain degree or to some extent over the past, months, 3, 4, 5,000, 12 million years, this whole LeBron James, Cavs, and so on and so forth. But I find it interesting that here we go. Somebody else is coming out saying something to the contrary of what the masses believe about the people's champion. Anywho, David Griffin says, everything we did was so inorganic and unsustainable, and frankly, not fun. I was miserable, he says. Literally, The moment we won the championship, I was going to leave. There was no way I was going to stay for any amount of money, end quote. Now, before I read Richard Jefferson's comments, Brother Rich, what say you to David Griffin's comments?
Well, David Griffin's comments, I think, only echo the sentiment of anyone who is going to enter the force field that is LeBron James's environment and not be respectful of the fact that this young man is the most powerful individual, the most powerful individual, perhaps in all of sports, because the soccer players don't really use their power in the way that American ingenuity, the American economy, everything that it represents to be an American athlete, a basketball player. LeBron James is using his power in ways that no athlete has done in probably the history of sports in the modern era, certainly. So when you have that kind of individual, he's a king. He acknowledged, he just put out something on Instagram, they said, where he said the throne, he's identifying himself as a king, sitting on a throne, and he feels that people are playing with his throne, and he's not for the foolishness or nonsense or whatever that the quote was. So here's a person who says, I run the NBA, and I've been running the NBA literally since I was 17 years of age. What kind of environment do you think is going on around someone like that? So I think that Griff is only telling us what people understand. You know, the old people in the South used to say, your grandparents and grandmother would say, this kitchen is only big enough for one chef. Only one chef could be in here.
Yeah.
You see? That's how it is, an NBA franchise, a town. In the Western days, they say this town ain't big enough for both of us. That's what LeBron James brings. You bring LeBron, you bring his entourage, you bring all those people. They want everything their way. They don't want to be criticized. And that's what it is, and that's what you're getting. But you're also going to get trips to the finals and constant media attention, and you're going to get other things that go along with that. That's what goes with it.
Yeah, we're going to get trips to the finals as long as Father Time as long as Father Time allows. And going back to something a little bit ago you said about him saying about the throne, because I saw those too. The throne has been threatened. Hey, you know what? Don't talk to me to death, Mr. Brian James. Oh, playoff mode activated. And what happened? See what I'm saying? Because you know, just like I know, Brother Rich, where you from, where I'm from, and Double J is from, and all the folks who do listen to us, all 7 of them. Man, I'm from Missouri, man. Show me. Yeah, you'll get them finals runs and all of that, but at the end of the day, see, most people think that with this guy, man, that all is guaranteed, and it's not. See what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, hey, why go deal with the drama, man? I'll go over here with Kawhi and them, try to win my you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they building that arena up there in Inglewood. We talked about that last week. It's going to be nice. Double J, have you say. Or do you want me to read Richard Jefferson's comments and then you weigh in, Double J? You tell me.
Yes, go ahead and read what Jeff had to say.
Okay. Richard Jefferson says, and then Brother Rich, of course, after Double J has a say on both, and you can come back to the Richard Jefferson way on that. There's not many teams that were as dysfunctional as us that were able to accomplish what we did. And he says, a level of dysfunction the world will truly never understand. Double J, you're on the clock.
Well, despite what David Griffin had said, as well as what just you read from Richard Jefferson, it really gives you an inside look at, you know, the parts that they did a very good job of not letting the media really understand for all of those years. You know, as LeBron and Brother Rich pointed out, this man stated, I've ran this league for over a decade.
But you know what? Hold that thought. Let me ask you this, right? Because you said I ran this league, and I meant to ask Brother. Hold that thought. Okay, so this man said I ran this league. But here's the question: who gave him the power? And do you think that by him being so powerful, that those who have given him the power, at some point, gonna take it back? Go ahead, finish. Sorry.
Well, I don't believe anybody gave it to him. I believe it was very much Thanos, where he empowered himself. And, he didn't look for Kobe's blessing necessarily. He, of course, got it. Nobody doubts this man's talent. However, he comes under criticism for how he goes about getting his teams to the level or quality in design of what he believes is a championship caliber team. And that is, I don't know if I'm more impressed or if I'm more disturbed at the fact that he could have such a chaotic environment and have, gotten to the finals as many times as he has.
Yeah. Then how did that explain not winning as many times as he has? Not. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All right,
absolutely.
Yeah, Brother Rich, go ahead. After, of course, Richard Jefferson's comments.
I think that Richard Jefferson's commentary gives us some more insight. That there are going to be some very interesting tell-all books, perhaps, that come out about the LeBron James era once he's retired. Because, again, we have Kyrie. We have the dysfunction of knowing that Kyrie said, I'm going to have surgery if you all try to make me play through this contract. I want to be traded right now. You have Magic Johnson circumstance. And even though he's been very magnanimous and he's very Magic-like in his very beautiful way, very politically correct, nevertheless, something happened there. You have the situation in Miami with D. Wade and the Wade County, and he feeds power to Bron and his entourage, but then they bump heads according to what we're told with Pat Riley and that organization, so then they decide to move on again. And so we know that this is what happens. We know this is what's going on. And Richard Jefferson is considered in LeBron's camp. So for him to even articulate that lets you know that there was way more dysfunction than, as he said, than we can even imagine.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? And it's kind of like a side note, so to speak. One of the conversations or debates, discussions that I've been having with some of my coworkers was in regards to, of course, Bron, because they love him here. They ain't going to say nothing bad about him, whereas, of course, for me, they say you ain't got nothing good to say at all, as Mr. Broussard once pointed out to me. But I am who I am, and I'm going to say it and call it like I see it. So, Anyway, at the end of the day, they're talking about greatness and things of this nature, right? And we may have discussed this before, but I don't know if we've done it in this capacity. But I have a couple questions in regards to this whole persona of. Now, I've never denied the fact that he's an immense talent. Never denied that. And, Brother Richard, I've said to you on more than one occasion, on air, off the air, and anywhere else, his contributions to the players and to the league, and that players are now signing less. They're still getting paid or whatnot, but they're not signing long-term. Right. He showed players how to go about, getting their money, so to speak. So I ain't mad at that. But I asked the guys at work this question. I said, look, man, if he is what you say he is, because, they want to talk that GOAT thing. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that, because I just don't understand the logic behind how can you be. I don't know how old you are, Double J, and Brother Rich, I won't ask you because, last time you saw me, you punched me in the stomach, man, we was playing, it hurt. We all know how old I am. Ancient, sat next to Abraham Lincoln, actually, before he wrote the Emancipation Proclamation. But I say to myself, I said to the guy, I said, if he is, what you all say he is in terms of this GOAT, like greatest of all time, how can you say that? And you ain't, if the NBA been around since the 1900s, I don't know when, but you only 30, how can you say greatest of all time? My question has always been, what are you basing it on, right? I said, well, if you're going to have that conversation, so be it. But let me ask you all this. If you're going to say that, if he is what you think he is or say he is, then why, if for no other player, did he do or did not do for Kevin Love what Tom Brady was able to do with Randy Moss? Now, am I saying that Kevin Love was the basketball equivalent of what Randy Moss was at the NFL? No. So don't even go there, people. What I'm saying is simply this, 1 + 1 = 2. Before Randy Moss ever got with Tom Brady, he was a household name. Can we agree on that, Brother Rich? Double J?
We can agree on that.
Double J?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We can agree.
Before he ever got with LeBron, Kevin Love was a household name. Can we agree on that?
Fact.
Okay. Randy Moss gets with Tom Brady and becomes the only wide receiver, because we all know that Brady is the GOAT when it comes to football, right? Right? We talking about if you're a GOAT, right? The man's
no argument here.
23 touchdowns in a single season. There are only 2 wide receivers. I repeat, 2 wide receivers in NFL history to have more than 20 touchdowns or more in a single season. Randy Moss with 23, Jerry Rice with 22. Now, they say, man, but basketball is different. No, it's not. Bron is a great passer. Tom Brady is a passer. If you Kevin Love and you get with the GOAT, then your numbers don't drop. I don't care who else on the team. Brady ain't because if you look at that season, and Moss had 23 touchdowns, he was spreading the ball around to other folks. There was a couple of folks with 4 and 5 touchdowns, 3, 2, okay? So he should have been able to do what Brady, did for Moss. If Moss was a dog before he got with Brady, when you get with the GOAT, you get better. And we all know and we attribute production in large part to your points or points scored or whatever the case may be. Kevin Love was averaging almost 30 points a game in Minnesota. You don't go get with Tom Brady and you only catch 2 touchdowns. Everybody left the room. That's what I thought. And then before, or as they were on their way out, I said, hey, you know what else? Let me tell you this. Because greatness lends itself to your respect you have for your craft, too, now. How your field goal percentage get better every year you've been in the league, but your free throw percentage get worse? Facts.
Fact.
You understand? I'm not saying he's not a talent, but we need to be done with this GOAT conversation. I'm sick of these folks with this GOAT conversation because y'all got this microwave mentality. Oh, he the GOAT. He the GOAT. Just because you happening right now don't make you the best, greatest of all time. And if you basing it on resumes, complete resumes from start to finish, and let's not even add in college. Because, see, to me, that's what I would do if we talking about a GOAT, even though he at the highest point, whoever it is, at the highest point of his sports pinnacle or whatever it is. If you're talking about GOAT, greatest of all time, then I'm throwing in whatever you did before you got to the league, before you became a professional. If we talking about GOAT and we basing it on, that's why I ask people, what are we basing it on first before we even go down this road? Because if we say we're going to base it on resumes, then it's Kareem or Russell, period. No offense to Jordan. Now, if you want to say we basing it on finals appearances, in addition to wins, how many games, 7s, and all of that, well, then it's Jordan. You get what I'm saying? Okay, anyway. Yeah. Dysfunction. And we all know what the definition of dysfunction is, right? Okay.
I would think so.
We should. Because I had a guy earlier on Facebook because I mentioned the Jeff Bezos comment, and he's a LeBron fan, so he kind of threw something out there as if to try to make a correlation between, Bron and the way he went about going to get the championships was kind of similar to what the Bezos. I said, man, are you serious? Dysfunction got to be. I said, at what point ever since dysfunction, and we knew the definition of it, of the word, how could it ever be viewed as a good thing? And it got something to do with societal norms and going against societal norms and all of that, being bass, awkward and all that. I said, man, you know what? These folks and they love for this dude, man, like that, hey, I ain't mad at you, but make some sense with it. Can we do that at least? I digress. So, yeah. Brother Richard, as you pointed out, there's getting ready to be some tell-all books. So whose is first is what I want to know. Who you think going to write the first one?
Probably Richard Jefferson. He's trying to be bold.
Yeah. But isn't that interesting? Because 10 minutes ago, he was all, he's my best friend. Double J, who going to write the first tell-all book in your estimation?
Oh, Jeff. No doubt.
No? Not Damon Jones, maybe? Not Zydrunas Ilgauskas?
Maybe who was the gentleman that was involved with this?
Delonte West. Yeah, that's where you're going with that.
Might.
Yeah, I still don't know how true that is. You know, that's kind of still speculative to me because I haven't, the guys in the shop, ain't nobody really made comment on that, and I guess for good reason. But yeah, like I said, man, and to add to this whole little piece about David Griffin, what he said, and so on and so forth. And when it comes to the Lakers, everybody's talking about, who gonna get the ball, how it's gonna be spread. Everybody looking at the Lakers and their offense. But I'm asking this question: who they gonna stop? Who they gonna stop, Double J? Because you do got to go on the other end at some point, don't you?
Well, not necessarily.
You don't have to play defense.
Brother Rich, I mean.
You don't have. Sorry.
You've seen other models where it's just not a point of emphasis.
Oh, you mean defense?
That's right.
Oh, okay. Well,
look at the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so let me ask you this. See, and the reason why I say that, who they gonna stop? Because it's really okay. Let me go up one step. Let me go up one rung on the ladder. If you're talking De'Aaron Fox, you're not really expecting finals appearances, right? When you're talking LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers, you're talking about banners. It's a different conversation. So, again, who they going to stop? We ain't talking about a playoff appearance is not good enough for the Los Angeles Lakers and the GOAT. Get what I'm saying? Who they going to stop?
But here's the thing about them. Here's the thing about the roster as currently assembled. That's what we have to take this into consideration. For me, I think the most scary component of their roster potentially is Boogie Cousins. In that if Boogie Cousins returns to some measure of good form, gets into some decent shape, and comes back ready to play, he could potentially lead a second unit. And if the players themselves show up and everybody shows up to some measure of their potential, that is a unit that with AD holding down the middle, he's a very good defensive player. With AD holding down, with LeBron playing minimal defense, Kuzma doing his thing, you have the makings, if you will, of a good squad, a good foundation. And if they can fit in some pieces around there and get Boogie to run with that second unit and produce some offense and keep things interesting while the starters do what they got to do, I think you got something interesting there. Here's the big question that people wonder, though, is whether or not those pieces will fit together, and whether or not the pieces themselves are not past their prime. That's what the quote unquote Laker fans and faithful are asking.
Well, and that's a darn good question. Will the pieces fit? That would be the first question. But to the second part of that, what you said is true. Let me repeat. It is definitely true. For the regular season. And again, that ain't no knock against you, Brother Rich. I'm just saying in general, for the regular season. They got a roster, of course. It don't take much to win 50, 40, 45, 48 games, 52, 56 games in the regular season. Not in this current NBA. But again, with this guy and that purple and gold, they are measured by titles. Now, if we was talking De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield again, and Marvin Bagley Jr., then yeah, I would be impressed by 55 wins in the regular season. And here's why I say that. Again, Boogie, you're right. AD, you're right. But on the defensive end, here's how this is going to play out. Until I see Boogie get in the kind of shape, and I'm not saying he can't, but until I see it, where he can defend better on the pick and roll, he's going to stay in foul trouble. until I see the Lakers or somebody point out to me who the Lakers perimeter, because we know, and I'm not making a comparison. I'm just we talking basketball as we always do here now. The Clippers on the flip side now, we know what they're going to be like on the perimeter. See, here's the thing that most people omit or fail to realize. And again, I'm not saying you and Double J, of course. Just people in general, folks who just casual fans, so to speak. When it comes to basketball, on the defensive side, and we've had this discussion before, you have to build the wall, for all you 45 folks out there, on the perimeter. When you build a wall on the perimeter, because we know that's what Beverly, Kawhi, and Paul George going to do. It's going to be hard to get through to the shot blockers, messing with them dudes. It starts out front. I have yet to see an NBA team, especially the Lakers, with all their wow and pizzazz that they had and all of that. You let folks in on the perimeter too easy, you put pressure on a shot blocker that should not be there. He comes late. And because he comes late, his instinct is to swipe or try to block. That's what he do. He, in most cases, is going to foul. Look at what happened to the Warriors and Draymond Green in Game 1. He had 3 fouls in the first game. He was in front. And then the floodgates open. Then they all start getting in foul trouble. We talked about that. Once you allow the offensive player into the painted area too easy, it puts and overstresses the shot blockers. Hence, AD, i.e., Boogie. Come have a seat next to me. And then you're going to run roughshod. Because who playing defense after that? Because somebody going to be in foul trouble and somebody going to be sitting down. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. But you're right, though, Brother Rich. As it is constructed, they not no bottom feeders in the West by no means. I'd be crazy to say that. They, them Christmas Day game and all of that, that's going to be fine. Folks going to, especially, Thanksgiving or whatever it is, folks going to be had their little turkey and their little ham. Yeah. And they're going to go crack a Steel Reserve or 211 or whatever folks are drinking now, hen, and all what I don't know. And they're going to sit down and watch them games. They're going to be excited, man. Oh, wait, you see that? And then folks going to get on Facebook and Twitter and then Instagram and Pinterest and wherever else interest. You know what I'm saying? And get to, oh, yeah, he back, baby. The GOAT, the GOAT, the GOAT. Then it's going to come down to, who get to go to the Western Conference Finals. And it's going to be a missed free throw. And then everybody going to change the narrative again. I've never seen, like Double J said, and you too, Brother Rich, is such a polarizing guy. But at the same time, I've never seen the narrative change in regards to a player. Every so often, 15 seconds, every 23 seconds. My gosh. I didn't even get to sit down and eat my macaroni and cheese, my mean greens, my cornbread, and my oven fried chicken. The narrative surrounding this dude, wherever he at, changes just like some folks got the remote in their hand changing channels. Am I lying, Double J?
No, I can't argue that point.
Okay. All right. Well, What about you, Brother Rich? No? Yeah? Maybe?
Well, no. Well, but again, he's the brand. He's been the brand. He's been the face of the league for over 15 years. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
He's carried the NBA for 15 years, over 15 years.
Yeah.
So
true that.
There's no doubt about it. You see him everywhere, and he's carrying different narratives. And so, yes, there's without a doubt. That is absolutely correct.
Yeah, it's all good. Like I said, man, time waits for no one. All right, let's get into some of this NFL action. The NFC East. There's been a lot of talk surrounding this division in particular. And some of the teams I would like to say, the Dallas Cowboys. But I want to ask you all, right click, Double J, is the NFC East the toughest division in football?
Traditionally, the answer to that question has been yes. Simply put, if you look at the... Hold
it. You said traditionally. More so than once upon a time, the AFC North?
I don't know. I'm speaking from a conference level, so you can't do
that. Okay. Okay. So the NFC East is the toughest division in football. All right, continue.
And, simply put, but presently, no, it is not the toughest division.
No? Okay, which division is the toughest division?
Absolutely not. In the NFC, right now, I would actually argue that the NFC North would be the toughest division.
Double J, it sounds like a little bias right there.
No, but because, they're the bottom feeders in that group. But they traditionally are the same team that has the caliber of beating Super Bowl champions.
Okay, got you. All right, that's fair. Brother Rich, what about you? Is the NFC East the toughest division in football?
Absolutely not.
What? You got to be kidding me.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Why you say so?
I am inclined more like you were saying with the AFC side of the bracket because in particular.
Yeah, you're going at Steelers Ravens.
Redskins. Yes, because the Redskins have not been good. They have not lived up to anything. You see, Dallas has not done anything. Philadelphia has come out of there, on the most part, as the champion in the last several years. So when you look at that division, you're more apt to look at Philly. Dallas has all the glitz and glamour. Washington is Washington. But we're talking about their lineage as a football franchise, not anything they've done recently. You see, I don't think so at all. I don't think they've proven that.
Okay.
I think that when you're talking about the AFC, you're talking about Pittsburgh and no, New England and no.
Okay.
I think you got the Ravens. You got issues on your hands.
Okay. Yeah. Well, more so than conference, we are saying division. But I'm going to tell you why the NFC East, in my estimation, is the toughest division in football currently.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I know. Get ready, Double J, right? You got your hand? Huh? You got your hand? It's not so much because of the combatants, so to speak, because both of you all are right. In particular, we failed to mention the Giants, and really now so that, Odell is now a dog. And, Washington, like you said, they ain't really done much of nothing. And, Dallas do. They got a little glitz and glamour, but they ain't really done much. And, of course, Philly, who I am picking again to actually win that division. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Cowboys finally. But I'm saying it's the toughest division because of what they do to each other when they see each other. I don't have it in front of me right now. But most times here in recent memory, the team that wins that division, and Double J, you might be able to speak to this more so than me right now. Who's won that division in the last 5 years and won the division with 12 games? Took them 12 games to win the division. You can win that division in 9-7.
That's exactly the point.
I know, but
absolutely. But is that how can you credit that?
Because
that's like being the king of the rats. I'm not buying that.
Well, we take LeBron James the best player in the league. That's the king of the league. Is terrible. Okay, but here's what.
But to answer your question, though, it was Philly. It was Philly 2 years ago.
Oh, they had 12. I thought it was 11. But I'm just saying.
All right, I ballparked it.
Yeah, that's all. It's all good for the most part. I don't care what the records are. When the Giants see the Washington, and when Washington see the Eagles, and when Eagles see the Cowboys, when the Cowboys see the Giants, I don't care what the record. They beat each other up. Now it used to be a time, and I'm talking about all four of the NFC East players do this.
Now, wait a minute. That was a decade ago, to your point, when you had Donovan McNabb, you had Romo, and then, of course, Eli was still there. Well, actually, you had McNabb on both NFC teams. You had him on Washington as well as Philly at one point in time.
That's true. So, wait a minute. So, are you saying right now, Double J, that regardless of record, if you see on the slate Cowboys versus Washington, you're not throwing the records out. I don't care if Washington is 4-9 and the Cowboys are 9-4. If you playing in a pick'em league, because I don't really do fantasy football anymore. I like to pick 'em. I do CBS Sports where they pick games. You know, they give you the 13 games on the slide and you pick who's gonna win. And they got a nice little payout too if you do pretty good. You go through the whole season and whatnot. But anyway, I do pick. Yeah, you hip to that? Who's nice, Brother Rich? You might want to get in on that. But yeah, they do a pick'em thing. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'll have to get you in mind. Yeah, we got one. I'll send you the invite this year.
Oh, for sure. So now when you're looking at the slate of games. Week 1, week 5, week 9, week 13. And you see the Panthers versus the Falcons, or, just go down the list, and you see Dallas versus Washington. You might have then went through all the other slates of games, all the other games, and picked with no problem. Oh, yeah, Carolina played. They're going to beat them. Oh, man, Atlanta going to beat them. When you get to that NFC East matchup, you're like, well, I don't know, man. Dallas did, but maybe. You giving this some thought. These dudes beat each other. I mean, it used to be the NFC North in that it was the Packers and the Bears and the Vikings would beat each other up bad. They didn't call it the North Division for nothing, right? I think the NFC East has reclaimed, or shall I say, taken over that mantle because these teams, they are not.
No way.
Yes, way. But y'all not going to let me win this one, are you? No? Brother Rich, you're not going to let me?
I don't think so, Jay, because I think you.
Go ahead, Brother Rich.
Go ahead, get him, Brother Rich.
Oh, well.
Go ahead, Double J.
Oh, okay. Now we doing tag team WWE. Go ahead. That's all good. I am the Undertaker. You know this, but go ahead.
I'll say this. All jokes aside here, the NFC South is more competitive year in, year out over these last 4 seasons than the NFC East is.
Okay, and other than the Panthers and the Falcons, who in the NFC South?
You look at Drew Brees, you look at Cam Newton. No. It's not the same. They all have one team. They all have a Washington in the division.
Oh, my gosh. Did you really just pick the Atlanta Falcons? Did you really just pick the NFC South to do anything? Get him, Brother Rich.
Well, I'm not going to get him on that. What I'm going to get with him on and agree with him on is that I think that you are pointing out the NFC East as in reference to what was their glory days, when it was a time where you wanted to see those teams battle against each other because that's the way they went at each other. They rarely live up to the hype lately.
No,
I don't know how many.
I'm not
weighing in on it from this.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm just weighing in from this point of view.
Okay, no, I'm not.
I don't know the last time one of those games lived up to the hype. Let's be honest. When is the last time? For how many years have people been saying?
Oh, really, Double J? With the laughter,
Manning should retire. Is it that the fact is that they had to blow up the team and get rid of Odell. That the fact is that Dallas had to get rid of Dez Bryant. The fact is that Dallas is in turmoil once again. That they maintain their profile because of their crazy owner, that they have more off-the-field issues where we find out more about what's going on with them off the field than anything they're doing on the field. They barely ever get into a wild card or this or that, and they get bumped right away. The Redskins they got a crazy owner their team is involved in all kinds of trade issues and player issues.
But listen,
this is real now.
No, I don't take nothing from that. Everything you all are saying is true. I think you all are kind of lightweight missing my point. I'm not saying that this division is the division that you would pick to beat the other teams and then come down to like in playoffs and all. I'm saying within the division, when the teams in the NFC East play each other, it's always a battle royale. I'm talking about within the division. I'm not talking about against.
But Jay, I would weigh in and tell you that's why I went over to I see the same thing. Now they're not high-profile teams, with the exception of Pittsburgh and Baltimore. But that's how those teams play in that area as well. They go at each other. If you're looking at those games just in a regional context, them teams battle each other, whether they're 0-0. They go and play dirty in the cold and the nasty weather.
True.
And you know if Pittsburgh coming to any of them cities, it's gonna be they got issues. Whether Cincinnati it has won one game, or the Browns are 0-12, but the Steelers are coming. If they trying to win this one, if they don't try to win no game, they trying to win this game. Same thing in Baltimore. You got teams that are defensive. So that is more, quote-unquote, rivalry-oriented football. When you're talking about Dallas and New York, you're just talking about big city foolishness and big money, really nonsense. That's why I say they rarely live up even to the hype of what
within their own division.
When you talk about LTs on the sideline talking about so and so, GG, we gonna got that. We gonna so and so get that.
Yeah.
Not
them days are gone. Is what you're trying to say? All I'm saying is, you could win, and you win the NFC East with 9 games, because, and I know they don't all, of course, play each other all the time, but that NFC East, man, is always a toss-up, because Dallas and Washington, that's not a marquee game, regardless of record.
You just made my point. It's a marquee game. It's a marquee game because of the market. That's it. Only the market's making the marquee game. They rarely live up to what's on the billboard. They rarely do any of that. It's just because you can say just that, Dallas and Washington. Yeah, for all people say, oh, wow, Dallas and Washington, let's go see them. Because they would have spent money. They got the ability to kind of budget to the $3 million. One got $1 billion stadium. It's enough about them in print that you at least want to see that.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
That's fair.
And do you notice that they spend 2/3 of the time talking about the 80s or the 90s?
Oh, wow.
And Jerry World.
That's so disrespectful.
Dak Prescott can't throw other than east and west.
Oh, my gosh. That's so disrespectful to the NFC Cowboys. All right, let's move on. Don't look now.
He's a Cowboys fan, Brother Rich.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Really? Really? Ever since you all
undercover, huh? Undercover.
Man, stop it.
Suspecting it for years. Now I see it. It's out now.
Stop it. The only team, football team that I would have no problem with you all saying I'm a fan of is in the NFL anyway, is the Cleveland Browns. Other than that, it's the Miami Hurricanes. You better recognize, put some respect on it, baby. The Canes coming back. Anyway, they play Florida the first game of the season. Unlike Ohio State and Buckeyes and all the rest of them Bamas and them college teams, they play the Pansies. Who Ohio State playing this week? A high school team? Anyway, I digress.
I tell you what, did you see the comments from Lane Kiffin about what he plans on doing to the Ohio State University?
Yeah,
maybe we'll save that for another episode.
Yeah, we will, and because I say consider the source. Nobody's thinking about Lane Kiffin. Okay, yeah. Back to football, as in NFL. Don't look now, but the Giants, Daniels, may indeed or may just be the real deal. Now, I'm not a big stat guy. Y'all know that. Completion percentage in college, Duke wasn't good. But I watched him a few times at Duke. Man, I really didn't realize that was him. That's on me now. I'm telling the truth. When they drafted him, I'm like, man, Duke Daniel. So I went, Daniel, what the? I go back and look. I said, oh, this is the guy number 17. Wow, okay, well, I mean, I kind of can see what the Giants saw in him. I'm not about to jump out the plane at 50,000 feet like Brother Rich be doing, and you too, Double J, sometimes, saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer and, la. But is there something to be said, Double J, for the guy being MVP of the 2018 Senior Bowl, and for the fact that he was a senior, and in his senior year he threw for 29 touchdowns versus 9 interceptions? Is that enough?
He played for Duke. Come on.
Really?
Are you kidding me?
So wait, whoa, hold up. So you're telling me if you don't play for Michigan, Ohio State, Miami, Alabama, or Clemson, that you're no good? Jerry Rice went to Mississippi Valley State. Walter Payton.
let's be realistic here.
Okay, he played it.
Guy, sure, you can. You of all people, I'm so taken back at you pointing out stats. First of all, secondly, this guy.
No, I was just asking a question. I was just asking a question. I said, does it weigh anything? That's all. That's just asking. I'm not saying it does. I'm asking you. Does it weigh anything?
No, and to me, not in the least.
Okay.
From everything I've seen, this guy doesn't have it. He hasn't thrown, anything of substance. All the passes I've seen were just semi-atrocious looking. He looks like Joey Harrington.
Oh, that is Double J. What, man? What did you have some hand before you called into the show? What happened? Double J, you cutting people left and right, man. You cut me today. The only person you didn't cut.
Shots fired in the building.
Shots hip. Fired in the building. The only person you didn't cut today was Brother Rich. Why? Because y'all going to the Browns parade to get, you know what I'm saying? Y'all going to meet, man, you know what? I ain't got time for this, man.
Don't you forget it. Don't you forget it, Jay.
I ain't got time.
We will not be at the Browns parade.
Yeah, it's all good. I don't want to be there if y'all cutting up right now. Okay, so you saying Daniel Jones is trash, right? That what you saying, Double J?
Again, he gets to write the ending of his story, but from what I've seen, everything from highlights to the combine.
You saying the story is already over?
It's just very raw. There's not enough there for me to say that this guy has it at the next level. I just don't see it.
All right, that's fair. And Brother Rich, I don't even ask you because I already know you're going to agree with Double J, right?
We can keep moving then. Skip that. Skip mine. He commented for me.
Okay. All right. So, without Ezekiel Elliott, I say Cowboys ain't going nowhere. Y'all remember 1993 without Emmitt Smith, right? Them first two games? A lot of folks don't remember that, especially a lot of YouTuber millennial types. They don't remember that. But with Zeke, when he missed them 6 games, I had them pegged to go to the Super Bowl. Because you can't just put anybody back there behind a quarterback. I'm sorry. We said the same thing about the Steelers and Le'Veon Bell. I like James Conner. I respect James Conner. Appreciate his story through and through. But he ain't no Le'Veon Bell. I don't even know who the Cowboys will put in behind or in place of Zeke. But he ain't no Ezekiel Elliott. And y'all know I don't do the top 5, top 10 thing. But if I had to, Zeke is...
Alfred Morris.
You mean the guy from the Washington NFC East guy? The toughest division in football
guy?
Yeah,
who better to have your 6-0 at halftime or your 3-3 for your primetime game?
Yeah. Hey, man, I know chicks dig the long ball, but what can you say? I'm a defensive specialist. I love defense first. So do you agree with that? The Cowboys ain't going nowhere without Ezekiel Elliott? Double J? Okay, Brother Rich says facts. Okay.
Absolutely. Dak turns him to Quincy Carter with no Zeke.
Dang. Double J, okay, I need to know. You know what? I want to have what Double J is having and make mine a double because he is on fire right now. Double J, you want to host the show next week? I mean, what you doing here? You know what I'm saying? Do we need to have a conversation?
No, I couldn't possibly. We talk about the King and LeBron quite frequently, and I can't fill those shoes, and I'd sink in that throne. It's not fit for me.
What shoes and throne is that you speak of?
Oh, that's yours.
Save it.
Out all of these, so many things that you take care of, and I want to reiterate on air that how much we do appreciate all of those things that you do.
You know what? You know what? Something told me, and I don't know why, because it is summertime here in Cleveland, if you can call it that. Something said, man, wear your boots today. Now I see why. Gee, my knees. Anywho, it's getting deep in here. Brother Rich, do you think Dwayne Haskins is the answer? I mean, like, as in Allen Iverson, that Daniel Snyder has been looking for at QB?
Absolutely not.
Oh, what is what you man? I'm about to hang up on y'all.
And here's why. Here's the only reason I'm saying that is because I believe that no matter who they bring in, the Washington franchise is dysfunctional, and the dysfunction is what prevents any long-term success. Because when you have an owner that's dysfunctional, when you have questions about management, when you have them still battling the league over questions about the PR and the naming and the this and the franchise and the fact that their ticket sales have fallen off and people are wondering like where is he taking the franchise. So I don't see anything going into that mix and succeeding. Whereas, I hate to say it, but just an opportunity to interject. There's another franchise right where you are, Dog Pound, that the trajectory of the entire franchise, the organization, the management is upward. You can see the trajectory is only staying positive trends, if you will. But Washington is always all over the board. We don't know what's going on with that. We really do not. It's like you said, we can clearly look at Dallas and say, with no Zeke, no happening. Nothing.
Got you. All right. So Washington is like an enigma. I'm pulling for Haskins, though. I think he'll be better than advertised. But I don't think that they'll be able to do anything in the division this year. Actually, I got the Eagles winning that division. If I didn't say that already, if I did, I did it again. I said it, on purpose. Yeah, but I got the Eagles winning that division this year. Double J, what you say? Is Haskins Allen Iverson?
I couldn't agree more. Haskins can't reach his full potential. Simply put, you got a puppet of a head coach who is being and that insinuates that the owner has his hands up his you-know-what. And that's not going to get you very far in this league. The owner takes a sip of the potion and then or covers his eyes, throws a dart at the board, and that's who's going to be playing, and that's who they're drafting. They're in a constant state of disarray. The offense, Haskins may be able to flourish in, but it does you no good when you have average at best in terms of a running game, an average at best of an offensive line, a subpar defense. This is a 6-10 football team.
Dang, you put a number on it. Dang, Double J, you going hard today, man. Did you do some push-ups or did you eat some oatmeal? Better yet, what about nails for breakfast? I told you stop doing that, man. It's bad for your teeth. All right. I'll let you have that one. And this last or next to last one up for the day, Brother Rich, I'm coming at you on this one. Are you sold on Carson Wentz? And now, of course, the knock is, which I cannot stand, he can't stay on the field, quote unquote. But I ask this question as well, as we've asked many times before. But given the nature of the sport, how is it that folks can hold that against him?
Well, I think that's the issue, is that because of the nature of the sport, I think their issue, and we wonder now, because I, like you've said it several times, but I have to agree with you on this. I believe that if he stays upright, if he stays healthy, they will win the division. Well, the question becomes whether or not he stays healthy, because having gotten such a serious injury so early in his career, people wonder whether or not he will bounce back, whether he's fragile mentally and physically in such a dangerous environment and with such a grouping of teams where, as you say, they go at each other. And remember, his other issue is he plays in a cold weather city. So when you're coming back from those kind of injuries, it takes a little longer in a cold weather city. And so whether or not he comes back with the right mentality and all these kind of things, whether he's ready to really go. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Best of luck for him.
Yeah, I agree with that. What about you, Double J?
Well, I'm going to agree with exactly what Brother Rich just pointed out, and we've yet to see him.
Oh, my gosh. What is with all this agreement today? Y'all must have already bought tickets to the parade or something. I mean, what's going on? Y'all renting the limo and all that stuff, too? My gosh. Go ahead, finish. I'm so glad I got my boots on.
Well, again, the man has not been on the field for an entire season yet. As you pointed out, the injury history.
Facts.
And until, you have made it over that hill, or at least to the summit, then we can, do our job on this side and be able to really be able to portray what your ceiling is.
All right, that's fair. And then last question before we get out of here. Brother Rich, who wins the NFC East this year?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Double J, who wins the NFC East?
This is tough for me to say.
Oh, boy, it's tough for you to say, but yet and still the division is terrible. That's Turrible. Yeah, I'm so glad I got my boots on. Y'all both, you know what? Matter of fact, I want to have what you and Brother Richard have, and make mine a quadruple. Yeah, who wins the division, man? You know what I'm saying?
Well, because of only.
Now watch him try to explain it. Now watch him try to explain his way out of this one. Go ahead.
Because he's of.
Because he's what? I lost you. You going out? I can barely hear you. It might be your phone on the other end there, buddy. And that's probably a good thing. See what I'm saying? Because you can really talk so much stuff. You get what I'm trying to say? Did you get it back yet, Double J? No, don't sound like it. Yeah, and it's not me, folks. I promise you all. I did not touch an area button. I would not do that to my cat, Double J. For whatever reason, his phone apparently realized he was going to talk some smack, and it said, no, not today. So, Double J, we apologize that you couldn't finish your thought, but we will on the next one. And on that note, it's been fun. But we got to run. We appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget to check us out right here on the Spreaker.com network. You go to the search box and you type in the Shop Report. Or you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, and, of course, via email, theshopreport365@gmail.com. And, of course, we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts now, which, of course, is iTunes. You all know how that iPhone thing works. I got an Android. Excuse me. Or, of course, you can go to our Facebook fan page and leave us a message there, any topics, anything you all want to discuss. And if that don't work, Google it. For my guests, Double J, Brother Rich, and all those who follow us on social media, we say thank you for your support. I'm Barbershop Jay, and you've been listening to the Shop Report. And remember, the next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla.